Um, okay, by angel I mean like the cosmic sense of an angel, not like this. Barbara, maybe I should just maybe I just should take control of the screen because it's not letting me
I
like
know.
it's
It's
not letting me
kind
move.
of doing its own thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop remote control. I'll just pull it up on my end if that's okay.
I'm going to stop screen share. One person said, I believe I have a guide who's a Native American.
Okay.
Does anybody else have anything they want to share? I know for me, I would like to be more specific. Like I have several, but I don't really focus on one. So
Okay.
that would be one of mine. Does anybody else have anything they want to share? As Shannon provides the presentation, then she can kind of customize to what your interest is. And yeah, exactly, Emily. I have many too, but I don't really know who they are. That's kind of where I'm at as well. Um, Somebody else said that their guide is in birds. Yes, I think Shannon, you and I talked about that on the Instagram Live, is that birds, animals can sometimes come through. Somebody said they'd like to be more regular with connecting. And then somebody else was talking about their ancestors, like their grandmother, their son, a peacock, eagle symbolizing. So thank you everybody for sharing. And now I think we're all set with your PowerPoint.
Yes, and thank you. Thank you everyone for sharing. That's so interesting. Um, so yeah, those are all examples of guides. Animals are big guides. So for example, your pets, if you have pets, they can actually be guides for you. Um, they can come through, even though they're physically incarnate. They can still be guides for you, and you will notice that if they start to come into meditation, or like if they come in today when we go into meditation, they might be a guide for you. My cats are guides for me. They come into my meditations all the time. Also, animals that you have had and have passed on, they could also be guides for you. And then cosmic or star beings. So this could be like light beings or alien beings, like Pleiadians from the Pleiades constellation, or Sirians from the star Sirius, Andromedans, Arcturians. There's a whole huge number of cosmic star beings that could come through as guides, and they are really incredible guides as well. Those are the Council of the Pinnacle, who was the council, the star council I was channeling from the 23rd dimension earlier. They are star beings. So those are all the different kinds of guides that you can have, and that's not even an exhaustive list. Like they could come through in so many different ways. Like someone said they have a Native American guide. That could be like a land guide, so it could be where you live. There's native energy where you're living, and so then you have Native American spirits who come, or indigenous spirits who come through, so that could happen in any land, anywhere on the earth. It could also be you have a past life connection to an indigenous people, and then you have guides, ancestors from that past life that come through. It's endless. There's an endless amount of possibilities. So what I really want you to do is keep an open mind and like curiosity as we move through this, because anyone, anything, any being could come through, and as long as they're coming through in divine love, then it's absolutely safe to connect. And that's really important. So when we're connecting to guides, how do you connect to your guides? The number one thing is to call in divine love and support, making sure that your energetic space is set, making sure that you are in a place where you are only opening yourself to connect to the most loving energies. This is not to instill fear, right? Most beings, any being that's going to come through to you is going to be in love, as long as you just set that intention. I don't see this being an issue for most people I work with. Like most people don't have a problem with having guides that are in anything besides their highest good come through. But in order to make sure that you're only connecting to, talking to loving beings, the first thing to do when you sit down to connect to your guides is just say, I call in divine love and support, and I ask for this connection to be in the highest love and the highest good for myself. And then using a candle, using incense, using sacred herbs to set this space. Like, for example, I was using some Palo Santo earlier, but when we're using things like Palo Santo and sage, also, we want to make sure that we're doing it super respectfully, ethically, also making sure that we feel a draw to it, because there is an element of appropriation that we can bring through if we're doing it in a way that's not intentional and not respectful. So I want to say that those are really helpful tools, but we want to make sure we're doing it in a really, really intentional, respectful way if you're going to use herbs like that. And then crystals. Crystals are so, so helpful. So if you brought a crystal today, feel free to use that as we go into meditation in just a couple of minutes. I have a whole bunch that I use all the time. And they're all useful. Every crystal is useful in a different way. And whatever one is calling to you, or if there are multiple calling to you, then there's a reason. And just holding them, using them as you move into the sacred space with your guides is really, really helpful. The other thing is using oracle or tarot cards. So I did actually pull a few cards for us. I'm just gonna show you that to show you the power of using these kind of guidance systems as you're getting used to connecting to your guides, because you get straight answers right through an oracle deck or a tarot deck. And it's really a beautiful way to build trust with your guides, because your guides are the ones who are sending you through the messages. So for today, for this group, I pulled this card, which is answer the call. So answer the call to your spirit guides. And then I pulled this, which is Council of Light. And the Council of Light is a star council. They're connected to the Council of the Pinnacle, which is who I channel most of the time. Not the exact same thing, but they're a very loving council. And then say yes. Say yes to connecting to your guides. So these are beautiful, beautiful ways to connect, is with cards, using animals too. So like an animal for us today is skunk. And skunk is about our reputation and how we are seen in the world and how we see ourselves. So that's really interesting. That's a really interesting thing to contemplate. Where's your ego and your reputation and how you show up in the world, how you want others to see you? Where can your guides help you with that? That could be an interesting thing to bring into meditation when we go there in a minute. And then meditation, movement, stillness, nature, these are all amazing ways to connect with your guides. So I'm going to lead us in a meditation, and then Sharon's going to lead us through more movement. And those are both two incredible ways to connect to your guides. There's no right or wrong way, essentially. If you feel better sitting still, then that's amazing. If you feel better being out moving or dancing or whatever, then that's a great way to connect as well. And then finally, how do you receive messages from your guides? The first thing, the number one thing I'd actually start with is look for the magic in everything. When we start to live our life as a moving prayer, as a moving intention of beauty, we see the magic in everything, and we realize our guides are always with us. And that's the number one most powerful way to connect. And then looking for synchronicities. So numbers. So for example, I have this deck of numbers, and when I pull a card, there's a number and there's a message. So like this one is number 6, and it says, I have a great appreciation for all the beauty that surrounds me. I give gratitude to Mother Nature for being an angelic playground to get lost in. And so there's a message right there in that number. And animals we see around, if we see birds flying around, those can be messages. Symbols that we're seeing, opportunities that come into our life. Like if you've ever had an opportunity come in and it's been like, wow, I've been praying for something like this, I've been asking for something like this, and it just dropped in my lap. Those are your guides. That was your guides supporting you and bringing that through to you. And then, am I going too fast, or do you want me to give you all a second?
This is really, really good. I like how you're giving all these different examples. And then at the end of the presentation, people have some questions like, what decks are you using? Those kinds of things. I'm keeping up with it. If anybody is not, turn off your mic and share that, or turn on your mic and share if you need things to slow down or if you have a question. We will have some time at the end for Q&A. So how's everybody doing? I can't see everybody, so.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the chat. Yes, your your dog is your guide. I love that. A guide can be your recently deceased friend. Absolutely, 100%. And all the decks, I can send those in the chat when we're done.
Yes, sounds good. All right, let's keep going. This is awesome.
Yeah. And then actually I have one more deck I want to pull a card from for us, which is an Ascended Master. It's a goddess deck. It's a Divine Feminine deck. And so I think that's kind of perfect for this energy. We have Kuan Yin. And Kuan Yin is a goddess of love and compassion. She says, I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. So I really love using decks. It's one of my favorite ways to get quick messages. Automatic writing is a great way to get a message from your guides. So when we're done with our meditation, in the guidebook, I've put some of my favorite prompts to talking to your guides. And the goal with those is you can actually sit down, and automatic writing is when you pick up a pen and a piece of paper, and you put your pen on the paper and you just write. And you don't think about it. You just let whatever words are coming through come through. You're not paying attention. It's a skill. It's something that you might need to practice to get more and more comfortable with it. But you notice when you're automatic writing that when you're done, you look back and you're like, wow, what did I just write? And you're like, your handwriting might be different. If you don't write well with writing with a pen to paper, you can type this as well. I like to write it, but you can type, that works. And then talking out loud, channeling like I was doing earlier with the records, just talking out loud. That's another way to connect by you could sit and connect to your guides and then say, all right, guides, what do I need to do about X, Y, or Z? And then just allow yourself to talk. And that is a form of channeling and talking to your guides. And then finally, working with your clairsenses. So your clairsenses are like your clairaudience, so hearing, your clairvoyance, seeing things, seeing visuals, seeing pictures, your clairsentience, feeling. So you might just get feelings about things. Like if you know your human design type, which I can put in the chat if anyone wants to look it up. I can put in a website to look it up. It's how your energy interacts with the world, and your human design actually tells you where in your body you get messages. So for some people, it's in the gut. For some people, it's like through their emotions. For some people, it's in their solar plexus or their spleen. It's really, really interesting. So that's a great way to figure out where your clairsentience comes through, where your guides communicate through your body. And then there's also your clair smelling. So some people get smells that is your guides connecting to you. Like roses, for example, if you smell roses, that might be Mother Mary or Mary Magdalene or Kuan Yin connecting to you, for example. I feel like I'm forgetting one. Well, if it comes to me, if it does. But your clairsenses is essentially all of your sixth, seventh, eighth, all those extra senses beyond the five senses we talk about. So does anyone have any questions about any of that before we go into doing a meditation?
Lorelei, would you be kind enough to come off mute and share what you just put in the chat box? It looks interesting.
Yeah, sure. I just mentioned claircognizance as in clear knowing. So it's generally considered one of the clairs, but it's not one of the physical senses in that way. So I have a lot of claircognizance. That's why I mention it. So I just know things and I don't know how or why I know. I simply know.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, I just said that's wrong.
I have that same ability where I just know, just comes to me.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Thank you for mentioning that, because that's actually one of my strongest ones, but I forgot the word for it. So thank you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
that's why I wanted to share it. And also April is going to be about archetypes. So human design will be part of that retreat setting. But Shannon, thank you for putting that in there as well. Because there's a really nice assessment, and yeah, I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite tools to recommend going to learn about how to connect to your clairsentience. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody
Yeah.
else? I think we're good. We can save some things at the end, or people can continue to put things in the chat. So thank you.
Okay, amazing. So let's go ahead and we're going to do a little meditation. So I just want to make sure this isn't too loud. Can you all hear me okay over the music?
Yes.
Okay. I love this is one of my favorite musics to meditate to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you all into a meditation, to a sacred space. We're going to go into I work in the 23rd dimension, but my guides and the collective guides have asked me to bring us all into this, anywhere between either the seventh dimension or the 11th dimension, which seventh dimension is Christ consciousness and the 11th dimension is another dimension of divine universal love. So I'm going to bring you up through the dimensions, and you can decide which place is calling to you, essentially. It's just a little easier on the body in the time that we have to go into the 7th or the 11th as opposed to the 23rd, because it's just, that can bring up a lot of stuff in the body. So I'm gonna bring you there, and then we will do a meditation. I'm gonna bring you into a place where you can connect to your guides and meet your guides and ask them questions. So let's go right in. You all want to get comfortable like we did before, closing your eyes, connecting into your breath, letting the music that we have this time carry you through your body, just making a little journey through every single part of your body, making a journey through your cells, starting from the top of your head and moving all the way down to the soles of your feet. Taking your time, we're just going to breathe here for a few moments as you say hello to every corner, crook, cranny of your body. And allowing that, as you connect to your body, feeling that multidimensional part of yourself that's been kind of brewing over the last half an hour or so, after all that rainbow energy was brought into you by the Council of the Pinnacle earlier. And I want you to tap into your heart space now and just feel that divine love that's flowing through you completely and totally, enveloping you. And also that flame within you that starts in your solar plexus and moves up through your heart and throat. As that divine love moves through you, I want you to allow it to activate and increase the flame inside of you, allowing it to move up through you. And then we're going to take a deep breath in as we activate and bring air, oxygen to this flame. So bringing in. And then I want you to take a deep sigh out. Releasing your energy out into the world, that divinity of you out into the world. And we're going to do that one more time, taking a deep breath in. And sighing it out. Good. And bringing your attention for a moment to your root chakra. We just want to make sure we're fully grounded in our bodies. You're connected to yourself. And even allowing your root chakra to open and energize and create energy in the pathway between your root chakra and your earth star chakra, which is just a few feet below you. So activating both of these centers. And then breathing up through your sacral, through your solar plexus, through your heart, up through your throat, your third eye, and your crown, allowing the flame within you to activate each of these centers. And at your crown, breathing into your crown, and also starting to breathe into your soul star chakra, which is a few inches above your head. Feeling that kind of heady sensation as you allow yourself to focus your energy into your crown and then into your soul star and into the divinity, the universe. And knowing that, again, we are held in pure love and light, calling in all of the guides who have been in the background to come back through prominently to each and every person who is here, creating a space of divine love and light as we move up now, allowing yourself to move up through the third dimension, out of the third dimension, all the way up into the seventh. And if this feels like where you're supposed to be, noticing that the seventh dimension is full of beautiful golden light. And that as you reach the seventh dimension, you can feel Christ consciousness, the full divinity of Christ consciousness, and not the religious way that we talk about Christ, but the actual truth of Christ consciousness, complete love, acceptance, no dogma, nothing like that, just love. Feeling that that is very present here. And if that feels like where you want to stay, notice that there's a little door you can walk through. And if you feel like you want to go up, if the 11th dimension is calling to you, allow yourself to continue moving up until you find yourself in front of a bright, glowing white light. Unity, oneness is starting to exist here in the 11th. And so you can move through this door into your sacred space. And so wherever you decided to stay, wherever is called to you, as you move through the door, you find yourself in the most beautiful sacred space. This is your safe space. Take a moment to look around and notice what you're seeing. Notice what this place looks like for you. Is it indoors? Is it outdoors? What colors do you see? Are there any symbols around you? Just want you to take notice, just look. And as you're looking around your space, notice that in front of you, all of a sudden you see that there is this beautiful crystal chair. And notice what color that crystal is. Just filing it away so you can come back to it. And notice now that that crystal chair is calling your name. It's for you. It is your healing chair within your healing space. And so walk over to it and sit down. And as you sit in this crystal chair, notice that energy starts to swirl around you. Notice that divine ascended masters are swirling around you, welcoming you into this place. Noticing that Christ consciousness is coming through and anointing your forehead with sacred oil that is opening up your third eye. Notice that Kuan Yin is coming through and placing upon your crown a garland of flowers, opening up and connecting you into your messages, into your guides. Noticing now that this healing chair that you're on, this crystal chair, is glowing and is activating all of the cells within you, activating them even further. Healing anything that is showing up in your body at this moment as discomfort or dis-ease. This white light from the crystal chair. Maybe it's a different color for you. Maybe it's green or purple, whatever color you're seeing. It is dissolving anything in your body, anything in your energy field that is not serving you, that you are ready to release. And if there's anything that you are feeling that's not dissolving, just notice that it's there. Send yourself love for that. And know that that just means that there is some deeper work that needs to be done before your body is ready to fully release that. Maybe there's something there, there's a message that you have yet to understand. So giving yourself and your body grace. And now, as you are really comfortably in this space, open up your heart, open up your flame within you, and allow your guides to start coming through. Noticing that there are beings materializing around you or walking into the room and greeting you. Noticing how many there are and making this easy, allowing this to be easy. The first number that comes to your mind, noting how many there are. Noticing if you see them or if you feel them or if you know who they are, if you're just receiving who they are. I want you to acclimate to their energy for a moment. And when you're ready, I'm going to be silent for a few moments and let you do this. When you're ready, I want you to ask your main guide to step forward. And ask your main guide to tell you who they are, what their role is, how your soul is connected to them. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to do this, asking if this main guide has any questions for you. Noting that there are no wrong answers. There's no wrong message, that everything that comes through to you is being bathed in divine love. And if there's any resistance you're feeling through this process, I want you to just bring it into the forefront of your energy field so that I can clear it out for you as you talk to your guides. And if you feel ready to, you can ask for your second guide to come forward, if there's a second guide there. And you can do the same thing. You can ask what their name is, who they are. And if you don't get a name, know that that's okay. Not every guide is going to give you a name immediately. Sometimes they want to get to know you better. Ask why they're here with you. Any messages they have for you. And still, if there's any resistance that's coming through, just allowing that to come up into the top of your energy field so I can move it out. We're going to allow one more guide to come through, knowing that even if you have more than 3 guides, you can come back and connect them over more time. But for right now, asking if there's a 3rd guide who wants to come through, who wants to connect, and allowing them to come through, come in to your field and asking them what they have to share with you. And noticing what kind of beings your guides are as well. Are they fairies? I'm feeling there are fairy guides for some of you who are coming through. So if you're feeling that, know that you're feeling correctly. Are they plants? Trees are very powerful guides. Do you have tree guides coming through? Are they star beings or light beings? Are they giving you where they're from? Showing you a star that they're from, for example? Are they ancestors? Are they friends? Are they family? Just noticing if that information is coming through and noting that if you're not getting all of this information immediately, that's absolutely fine. You have the rest of your life to be connecting to your guides and getting to know them. So you don't have to know every single thing about them right now. And my guides, the counsel that I channel, are telling me to tell you that it took them months to tell me who they were. So it's okay if you're not getting all of these answers right now, but these are questions you can be asking. And finally, I just want you to start to wrap up with your guides, thanking them so much for being here. And I want you to ask them how they want to connect with you. What is the easiest way for your guides to connect with you? Do they want you to automatic write to them? Do they want you to speak out loud to them? Do they want you to be looking for the birds that are flying by? There's a bunch of crows that have been flying by as we've been doing this. So like, do they want you to be looking for the birds? Do they want you to be looking for the animals? The numbers? Do they want you to go up to trees and flowers and put your hands on them and ask them for messages? How do they want you to connect? Seeing what your guides say. And knowing also that this is a question you can return to whenever you feel called to, because your guides may want to connect to you in different ways in different seasons of your life. And just clearing anything else out. Much better. And there's some fairy presence that just wants to come through and connect. So noticing Allowing this to happen, allowing any fairies, if you see any fairies coming through, you can just say hello. I'm going to see what they want to say. I'm going to let them channel through me. But I want you all to know, I want to share with you that if fairies come through for you as guides, you need to be very careful about how you connect and contact with fairies. They're very powerful, but you don't ever take from a fairy anything to eat or drink, even in a spiritual realm, even in a different dimension. And you always say, you don't say thank you to fairies. You just say, I'm grateful for what you have shared with me. So allowing that fairy energy to come through those wings, that wing energy is very strong. So if you feel any wings or anything at the back of your back, at your shoulder blades, just breathe into them. And the fairies are saying that that they're bringing forward for each of you energy. They're going to come through, and you can choose to accept this or not. It's up to you, it's your discretion. And at the back, at the back of your shoulders, on your shoulder blades, they are going to activate your wings. They're going to activate this energy that sits there for each of you. And so wings may look different for every single person. You may feel like you have big, huge wings, and you feel like you have little, small ones. Doesn't matter. There's beauty in every single type. So just allowing, if you feel called to, allowing the fairies to come through and activate your wings. They're saying that it's time to fly. It's time to fly. It's time to fly from the fear that any fear that you're holding with you. It's time to fly away from it. It's time to allow yourselves to be more free, to fly further away, to play out in nature. They're saying going out into nature and playing with the trees, playing with the flowers, playing with the leaves that fall on the ground. Bringing more play into your life so that you can fly away from the freedom, so you can fly away from the fear and into the freedom. Fly into the freedom. Allowing that activation to move through you. And when you feel it finished, telling the fairies that you are grateful, that you have gratitude for everything that they've done. Thank you, fairies. Thank you. And once again, noticing that the Ascended Masters are coming through to say goodbye. Noticing that Christ consciousness, whatever form he's coming to you as, if he's coming to you as Yeshua or as another form, is filling your body with divine love again. And that Kuan Yin is coming through again. And with those flowers that she put on your head, she is allowing them to be absorbed into your body. So you can allow this to happen if you want. So that you actually always have this connection into your crown, into your divinity within you. And when you're ready, you can say thank you. You can stand up from your crystal chair and look around your sacred space again, and know you can come back to this place now. So you have connected to it in this space, and so now you can always come back. You can ask your guides to bring you back here. And you can walk across your space until you find the door. You can walk out and allow yourself to float gently back down through the dimensions, through the sky, past the stars, back down into the Earth's atmosphere, back down into your body. And I want you to bring your soul, your spirit, your consciousness fully back into your body by bringing your attention to the soles of your feet. And breathing fully your energy back into you. And when you feel yourself fully back in your body, you can start to wiggle your fingers and toes and come back out of this. Just making sure you feel fully in your body before you do. You might want to run energy up through your legs, your hips and pelvis, your back, and allow it to come up and out of your crown. Just feeling your energy fields again. And when you come out, if you want to write down any messages you received from your guides, feeling free to do that. If there's anything you want to remember. And I know we were going to do, I think, a sacred share, just to share if anyone wants to share who their guides were.
Thank you so, so much. I am going to stop recording because of